I think I'm seeing something really powerful here in 2 Kings 23. Um, this is where Josiah comes along here. And the people of the land slew all of them that conspired against King Ammon, and the people of the land made Josiah his son, king in his stead. Okay, here's the kings of Judah. Ammon was 2 years. Josiah, the next one, he was for 31 years. And he went through and cleaned up the shop. Okay, he cleaned up all the idols. He killed some of the priests, the priests of the high places, took out the idols, people who were killing their kids and everything. He was going through and just cleaning up stuff like crazy. Idols and everything. Cleaning up. Honored the man of God who was at the oak tree, who died from eating bread and water. Incredible, because he prophesied. Amen. He prophesies about him. In 1 Kings 13:2, 3, and 4 is the prophecy that he gives to Jeroboam some heavyweight stuff that's going to be going down. Now, I seen something here that's really cool. I'll show you where I got it from. Verse 29. In his days, it's talking about the end of him, Josiah. Now, the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that, he says that over and over for every king, which it says it for all the kings of Israel, and it says it for all the kings of Jerusalem. It has that same little ending here as the ending of it. Aren't they all written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah or the kings of Israel, whichever one it was? And in his days, the Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. We know that river Euphrates. It's from Genesis, and it's also from Revelation chapter 16. One of the very last, second to the last vial. The river Euphrates will be dried up, and then all the armies of the world will be coming over to fight against Jerusalem, and Jesus will go there and kill them. That's the Armageddon. Okay, so look at this. In Josiah's days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him, and he slew him at Megiddo, where he had seen him. Wow. And his servants carried him in a chariot, dead from Megiddo, and brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. Okay, so here's the next king after that. That's what I have to write down next on that card over there. But you see this? Look at this portrait here. It's the river Euphrates. That's where all the armies are going to be marching through to get to Armageddon, which is Megiddo. Megiddo means Armageddon. And Josiah, like a Christ, cleansing all the temples and everything, and then wiping them out. I wonder if that's how it's going to go down. That's so cool. I mean, it's just inconceivably amazing how that ties in so well. So this is not the actual Armageddon experience. This is like a precursor type of a deal that you'll see prior. How everybody always points to Maccabees and the Antiochus of Epiphanes and says that's something, and it is a type of the situation that you see. But this one's like a really clear picture of like a good thing happening. You know what I mean? Like when Christ is coming to knock out the king of Pharaoh. Pharaoh's a representative of the Antichrist back then. And the king of Assyria, it's kind of funny how he's fighting, the bad guy's fighting the next bad guy. And it looks like the king of Assyria is going to be winning. And he's the one who's already knocked out the kings of Israel. It says that they were knocked out forever. Nothing right above here. It says that the Lord will, it says, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of the Lord, of which I said, my name shall be there. He's going to remove even Judah, it says. Man. So this is pretty powerful. What's really crazy, okay, this is even more radical. Now look at what he says right here. This is something that Josiah was the best. Josiah put away he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. And like unto him there was no king before him that turned to the Lord with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his mind, and according to the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any like him. Okay, like the Bible talks about, no one's more rich or more wise than Solomon, and no one preaches better before or after um, um, John the Baptist. And there was another thing that the Bible said, that was no thing greater before or after. Well, anyways, this one's no greater king better than Josiah. Really clear. I know that David was really great too, but for some reason he was really special in a certain way at least. And then it says, but God was still angry. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from his fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all of the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. Who was that? His grandpapa, Manasseh, reigned 55 years. He represents like the people of Israel totally. He was so bad. And then he kind of came back to his senses after he was in some serious bondage in Assyria. Wow. So kind of like a dad to him. It was really like a great, like a grandfather, really, because this guy was only here for a couple of years, but still. So these are two big guys, but his repentance was massive, and you can actually see this in the original 1611 Bible in the Apocrypha, and there's a Manasseh's prayer, and boy is it good. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty powerful. Just reading here, I really saw some clues that the Josiah is like a type of a Christ. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, Megiddo, wow. But then I was like, oh, the Euphrates, the Pharaoh, oh my goodness. And so I don't understand all this, where the portrait here is, but, concluding to the 7-year period coming up, I don't see this there as far as him taking the body and all that stuff, because I think that the Lord's going to consume the Antichrist with the spirit of his mouth, along with all the other people, and they're going to be dead before they hit the ground. In Zechariah 14:12, in Revelation 19, the second half of Revelation 19, where it says that Jesus is coming back as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and with the two-edged sword of his mouth. So this is like a portrait of it here. So it's verses 2 Kings 23:29, portrait of the 7-year period, the ending of the 7-year period when Christ comes back and cleans up shop.